Well, after an exciting night here in Las Vegas at the South Point, it's the Cinch Stallion Stakes for the NRCHA. I'm Amy Wilson here at the EQN Sports Desk. It's Vegas themed, and we are so excited to welcome back Corey Cushing. When you walked up, I said it feels like deja vu. You were here last year as well. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. It's a fun place to be. I like having chats with you.
Exactly. 4 different horses tonight.
Yeah.
That's incredible to make the finals on 4 head. It keeps you busy, but it's a huge blessing, isn't it?
Oh, it's totally. I mean, for the past couple of days, you're going to be tired. You're going to be busy. And I thought, you know what?
It's a good problem to have.
That is a very good problem to have, and I am super excited.
Yeah.
So, pretty fun day. Yes, ma'am.
As they were awarding you down in the arena, they actually had a really cool holiday auto truck down there, too, I should mention. But they said $175,000 is what you won tonight. First, of course, $125,000. You also tied for 6th and 12th, and then a little further on down. That's huge, $175,000.
It's going to make the drive home a lot easier, for sure.
And you're not done yet?
No, ma'am. No, we still got to go all day tomorrow. They got the Run for $1 Million qualifier, the end of the Bridal Spectacular, the Crown the Champion there, and then we also got the Hackamore class tomorrow. So, no, we're not done yet, and it's been an incredible week, and, so much fun.
Yeah, so you were actually the 3rd rider that we saw tonight. You had marked a 220 in the herd, a 220 in the rain, and then you came out tonight. That 225 was so cool. But being just 3rd out, were you sweating it a little bit, paying attention, or were you too busy?
Not so much sweating it, but it did kind of come across my mind that, okay, every draw is a good draw in the finals, but, as the evening goes on, the adrenaline starts to build, things, it gets to lifting. I thought, all I can do is just go out there and just make the best out of what is dealt to me. Don't mess up, don't take a bad step, hopefully make the right decision. My horse was right on target. He felt so awesome. And, it's a place that, he's kind of struggled. He's got so much cow in him and so much respect. He doesn't always like to he's not always comfortable in those moments where he needs to get tough and get gritty just because he wants to just, kind of shy away a little bit. And tonight it was a perfect mix because there was times where he needed to get away and he needed to get, we need to give a little breathing room. And then, when everything lined out and he stepped up in there, kept his shoulders up straight and he was just, he knew where he needed to go. He wasn't waiting for me to tell him where to go.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. Being up calling the action, the guys doing the play-by-play, they were riding every step with you, and they were excited about it. 665, so you set the bar really high. You came in with a 440. There was 1.5 points separating the top 8, and you were in that, so it was really tight there.
Well, and any of those horses, had a legit shot. Abby's horse has been incredible all week. Jared Jones, he's got that great Scooter Cat, Gildan, and they can be great, and it just went. It just started building, and it worked out, and I, just went in there and did the pattern. So.
Well, it was so much fun. I should mention, too, it stayed really close. You tied for 6th with a 656.5. 12th, you were a 655. I mean, that's a 1.5 for all those places. So incredible payouts. Second place was $85,000 and all the way on down. But I want you to tell me all about Smart Dressed Dude.
Smart Dressed Dude. He's his barn name is Dude, and he's always a cool dude. He's been a lot of fun. I got him from Hayden Upton as a 2-year-old at the Cutting Futurity sale, and he always does a great job with them. And build him up through the futurity, made the futurity finals on him. Last year was a lot of ups and downs. That horse just needed to mature. He was trained, but things would get in the way, or something wouldn't work out. We lose a cow, or all the things that can happen. And just coming here, I'd done my homework and we had made some changes with him, and I kind of went about him a different way coming to this show, and just stayed the course. And ever since we got here, each day he's rode good, and he's he's sound and he's happy and he enjoys his job, and he had his night. So yeah.
I'm sure you don't want to give away all your secrets, but anything you can tell us that you changed or approached differently?
Yeah, I gilded him.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
Brain surgery, I think they call it.
Yeah, brain surgery. Yeah, we did that last fall, and it was a tough decision to make because that horse would never like nicker and be like bold and rank stud, but when, I'd need to get in and maybe give him a little tough love, that's where the argument would come in. Well, then he knew he was in trouble, and so it made him more fractious. And so, we jumped back and forth. forth. I tried to find him. He kind of tried. We just could never get it to blend together. And this week has been, and today, we finally got it.
Proof it worked. I like it. Let's take a look at this amazing run, 225. And as we watch it, just tell us all about it.
So when this cow come out, she felt like a lot. And I was really cautious because any step you made, she knew that you were getting closer, or, you know, she really didn't care for you to be there. You know, we talked about the bubble. You know, all these cows have got different bubbles, and so I just took my time, kept telling myself I need to drive her and go stop her, make sure she's going to head. My horse is starting to feel real good right here. And, you know, I knew all these guys were coming for me later on, you know, in the draw, and they weren't going to make it easy. And so, yeah, this horse, you know, he stepped right up in there. And, you know, like I said, you know, he struggles a little bit in spots that he, you know, is not very, very comfortable with, being right up there next to the cow. But, you know, he did a real good job of, you know, being brave tonight, we'll call it. And we made it happen, and you know, I think that's what the judges needed to see, that, you know, a big run like that and make them, you know, step up a little bit. So anyway, pretty fun, pretty fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I love rewatching it too.
Yeah.
And the guys had talked earlier when they were doing play-by-play about how you worked that cow and made sure she was looking at you, paying attention, kind of establishing some boundaries.
These cows have been very challenging, but there's been a lot of good cows. You know, she come out there and she wasn't being rude, but she used a lot. And, you know, but I just kept telling myself I need to drive her, make sure she's comfortable with me coming from behind, and get her stopped, you know, and kind of help set her up, because I could have just kept her right there in a little 5-foot area, but then it would have been a lot of squirting and jumping, you know. She had, you know, so it's, you know, being smart while you're out there, being a showman, thinking of, you know, the places you're at, and along with everything going on underneath you, you know, the competition is too tough today to stub your toe and not create the picture perfect pattern and what everyone else is seeing in the judges, not just what we're feeling, you know, down there in the moment. So
yeah, for sure. And obviously in all of Western sports, the draw impacts the result, but
Sure.
the challenge of the cattle with the border being closed, elaborate on that just a little bit.
Yeah, so it's made it real tough, not just on our association, but, you know, other associations, especially out here on the West Coast. You know, we relied on those cattle a lot, and you know, things are kind of tough right now. I'm sure they'll get it all worked out, but, you know, we you know, during the week we worked heifers in for the Derby, but in other classes we were working steers, and, you know, pick and choose, ups and downs, and you know, just some days were better than others depending on the cattle, but, you know, as a whole, everyone did, you know, the best they can, and they were good quality cattle, just some played nicer than others. So it's the way it is.
Yeah. So you were also at 223.5 tonight. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So thinking back over all your
memorable.
tonight.
Yeah, memory we call him. That horse has just grown and grown. He's 5 also, just like Dude. You know, they're kind of like traveling partners together, but that horse has really matured and coming to his own. He loves going down the fence. You know, he can kind of let out his inner demon a little bit, you know, but he's doing it in a respectful way now, where before he just thought he could take over, and, you know, here I was along for the ride. But anyway, no, that horse, he felt good. I knew that these cows were going to be perfect for him, because he can go fast and he's quick to the ground, and, you know, you don't feel like, you know, he can't get to where he needs to be, you know, and handle himself in the right way.
Yeah, definitely. So back-to-back champ here.
Yeah.
Of course, all the pictures, awards, family, everyone gathering around. It's a great thing to win, isn't it?
No, this has been a great day, and then, you know, this beautiful facility and this arena that, you know, we get to have all this fun with. And so anyway, yes ma'am, it's been a lot of fun.
$175,000 tonight. I wanted to talk real quick. I know you talked about this earlier in the week, but just the numbers and how the NRCHA is growing. It's exciting for your sport. Huge growth. So how are you guys elevating the sport even more as more people come in, more people are showing interest?
Yeah, there's been new faces walking around here all week long. I mean, you got all your competition and all your buddies and whatnot, but, you know, new owners, there's a lot of competitors that I'd never seen before, you know, with the Stallion Stakes program. I mean, there's a lot of bloodlines that I never saw before with these new bloodlines. You know, it brings in new faces, and it just keeps on growing. This is a great show. It's a great association. People want to come to this. They want to be part of it. And now with the prize money, you know, people are taking it a lot more serious.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't too long ago we barely had 100 entries, and I think this year we had 240 or right close to it, you know?
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's more than the fraternity was not too long ago. Anyway, it's so much fun to see the growth of it and people wanting to be part of it, and it's helping winning money like this. It's helping these horses be just as valuable as the cutting horse, the reining horse, and, you know, in my opinion, they should be every bit as valuable, you know, and these horses and what we ask them to do and the jokes they have to take, it takes a toll on them, but yeah, it's a lot of fun when you get to have that day.
Yeah, truly amazing horsepower. If you haven't heard the numbers for the incentive program for the NRCHA Cow Horse, 343 stallions are subscribed, 5,556 offspring are nominated. So love seeing those numbers. Also, you mentioned tomorrow the Run for a Million. It's one of the qualifiers here. That event is so cool. Of course, Taylor Sheridan's event.
Yep.
Talk about how much you're looking forward to that and hopefully being back here in August.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I want to be back here in August because that show is another one that nobody wants to miss. That's a lot of fun. It's going to be intense, as always. You know, we started off a few days ago with the Open Bridal Spectacular, and then the Run for a Million qualifier runs along with that. So we did our rain work, and of course that was just as salty. Iceman stepped up and was really good for me again, and we're sitting in a good spot. And so tomorrow we're going to go in there, and hopefully we can have another great day and be part of that top 5. They've already got 5 that qualified from last year. They're going to take 5 from here and 5 from the Derby. So anyway, fingers crossed. And but you know, we're going to have to, you know, take a chance because there's a lot of guys that know how to do it and are going to do it.
Yeah. Well, best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
I thought it was really cool in the opening prayer when he talked about how blessed we are to get to enjoy these horses, and I really do think that's so true. And you get to enjoy some amazing ones and help make them into what they are. So congratulations on all of that.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, what an amazing night here at the NRCHA Cinch Stallion Stakes. Back-to-back winner Corey Cushing. A big congratulations to him. Smart dressed dude helped him get the win. $665, $175,000 tonight. It was a great night. I'm Amy Wilson here at the EQN Sports Desk, driven by Holiday Auto Group, and your coverage is presented by Ranch Fuel.